Hi, welcome to this screencast looking at water management in HICs. The concept of this session is to look at how can HICs solve their water management issues, and this goes hand in hand with the resource that you were given the other day. Now, there are three ways which water management can be managed. The first one's domestic. This image is the same as on the sheet that you've been given. And I just really want to talk you through it, and you need to understand a couple of different ways that water can be used. Now, your houses at home will do a lot of these things probably already. The first and most obvious way is upstairs in the bathrooms, and this comes through toilets where you have dual flushes and therefore then using much less water. Depending on their need. Showers, again, you can now have more water efficient showers which control the amount of water which comes out of them. And if you have a power shower as well, this actually will use more water. So by having non-power showers, you can control that water usage more. Other things in the house which save water. Well, most houses these days have water systems where they capture rainwater and it goes into water butts, which can then be used to water the garden and water plants in those gardens. Um, Another key way, a lot of domestic appliances such as the washing machine, the dishwasher, are now being rated based on their water consumption, and this is becoming a more common feature. And when you go shopping, you can see these different features and the different values of them, and they're highlighted in the purchasing of these products. And these then save water and consume a lot less water, and they tend to have quicker cycles on them as well. So these are the different things which work at a domestic level. Um, Moving on from that, we've then got our industrial issues. Now, again, the sheet breaks these down, and there's a couple of different examples on the sheet. Really, what you need to be thinking about is what's going on a industrial level, and you can consider the school at industrial level because we have taps at school which turn themselves off after a certain period of time. We've got obviously got toilets which flush a certain amount of water at various points in time as well, and therefore control the amount of water consumption. And often industries are on water meters, and therefore they have to pay depending on the amount of water they use. Therefore, to maximize their profits, they will have water meters and will then seek to manage that water consumption as best as they can. Now, this is a key feature in industry. Now, what I want you to do is have a look through the fact file and make some notes on what you think are a couple of important ideas there, and then look at the Cadbury's Treble Bassett example on the back, which is in Birmingham. There's two images on the bottom of this screen. They're both of the Cadbury's factory. This is a very traditional factory. This is where Cadbury's have been based for all of their years of production. But they've brought it into the 21st century. They've just had a large redevelopment, and if you type into Google Cadbury Treble Bassett Birmingham, you can see the architectural plans for the redevelopment they're planning. And built into this was the cost savings for water. And if you look at it, it cost them £2 million to start using their wastewater, but by using their wastewater, they're going to save in the long term. And that's the key thing. It's about, for businesses, it's about long-term savings. Short term, there's going to be a high investment, yes, but long terms, they're going to be making the savings. So pause the video and make some notes to explain those factors. The last factor is agricultural. Now you'll note these three factors match up with what we were originally talking about in the first lesson this unit, looking at water consumption. And agricultural water in HICs, whilst we have an abundant amount of it, again, it's that cost-saving measure to ensure that it's being used efficiently. Now, there's two main systems. One, there is targeted watering through overhead sprinklers. And these are systems where the water is just on a rotational basis and it rotates around, and you can see how much water is being used and they can monitor it, but it's also focusing onto the plants they need it. This is costly but not massively expensive, and it enables large amounts of areas to be watered very quickly. The second method is drip irrigation. This picture in the bottom left-hand corner of this screen looks at drip irrigation. This is a much more complicated system and it's also very expensive. But what it does do is allow for very efficient watering systems and allows watering to be measured and controlled and balanced with rainfall levels as well. And all it does is very simple, is you have a pipe which feeds into the base of the plant, and they drip feed water into the base of the plant and the root system of the plant to ensure that it grows quickly. Again, pause the video and make some notes in relation to this using the questions on the board. Okay. Final thing I want to show you today, there's only been one question asked on this in the past that I've been able to find, and that was in June 2011. And this was explain how HICs manage their water usage of water in industry and agriculture. So the key thing about this question is you had to focus on industry and agriculture and come up with an idea for both. So ideas which you could have for this question, one would be obviously the drip feeding in agriculture, another one would be the reusing of wastewater, the efficiency of cost saving by using taps which turn themselves off, all these different things. If you wrote about those ideas, you're going to get a couple of marks. The key thing is to explaining it, and this is the key thing for lots of these explanation questions, is defining how these things work. So a drip feed system works because it is minimizing the amount of water going to the plant and thus saving money. So that's the key idea. So you need to be making sure that you're explaining your questions. That ends today's screencast session. I hope you found it useful.